Before you paint your tree silhouettes, you want to paint your ground. So you can paint a straight line across for your ground. It can be a wavy line. It can be a slope, like it's a hill. Whatever you want. I would just not go too far up the page because you don't want to cover up all of your blending that you just did for your moon. And I'm not gonna paint the whole thing right now, just so I can move on and you can see the trees. Okay, so you just fill that whole space in with your black. And also that just solid black is kind of boring, so you don't need it to go very high. In fact, I probably would have gone maybe even a little bit less than I did, but that's fine. Make your ground, your land first. Then for your trees, I would suggest at least like maybe 3 to 5 trees, and you want them to be different heights. You can't really tell the distance right now, the perspective, when you're just using a silhouette. You can't see that the trees are really moving up as they go up farther up the page. That means they're going back in the distance, or with color because it's all black. So, but you still want to vary the sizes a little bit. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, you're going to use a pointed brush. It's called a round brush. And you're just going to draw one line for the trunk of the tree. Then you're going to come back, and the trick is you're going to paint your branches going down. So you need to turn your hand. This is how we usually write or paint. The brush is angled up when you're writing with a pencil or you're painting. But for this, you want to angle it so it's pointing toward you. And you're going to start at the top of the tree, and you're going to paint just little tiny diagonal lines going from one side to the other side. As you don't have to have it solid, you can have some color peeking through, because that's what in real life you kind of see through some of the branches. But you're just bouncing from side to side, back and forth, drawing some diagonal lines on this side, some diagonal lines on this side, keeping your brush pointed toward you. And you can see that they need to get bigger. The lines, the diagonal lines, need to get bigger as they're going down the tree trunk. And I would, don't press down so hard on your brush, because you see when you pull your line, you see that point from the brush is making your branch skinnier at the end, which is what they look like in real life. And then when you get down towards the bottom, you're going to want to kind of fill that in a little bit, because that's where it's kind of thick. So you don't want to see too much through. And if it looks like it needs a bit more of a point, you can come back and make it a little bit pointier. All right, so again, draw your line for your trunk, and you can have them touch. They can overlap a little bit. Angle your brush toward you. Start at the top with a diagonal line. Bounce from side to side, this side. And again, don't cover it up too much. You can always go back and add more. If you think it looks too spacey and you can see a line of the trunk of your tree, and you think it needs to be a little bit thicker, then you can always add more, but you can't take it away. So you do want to see a little bit of your sky coming through. Okay. And I'm just gonna put one more over here. So again, the line of your tree, and then start angling down, diagonal line, one side, the other side. Don't do one whole side first. You wanna, again, bounce back and forth, leaving some spaces showing. You can always fill them in more if you think you need to. And you can always make your branches bigger if you're done and you think your tree looks too skinny and it didn't triangle out enough, I think most of you will probably want to go too wide too fast. So really start out just gradually getting longer, because like I said, you can add more, you can make them longer, you can make your spaces a little bit darker if you can see through it too much, but you just can't take it away. I'm gonna take a little bit more of a point to this one. And you do want to see those wispies at the edge of your branch, because that's what they look like in real life. It's not just a solid edge. So you can add a little bit more if you want.